Man, what a day it was yesterday. So we had the opening ceremonies for the Olympics going on, and that seems like that's going to be the talk of the day. And I will digress as a metalhead if I did not shout out NBC for showing Gorgira out there performing out there and put on a hell of a performance. So shout out to NBC for actually showing metal on TV and France for putting on some metal on some TV. Anyways, that got me excited going there. So, anyways, man, we all thought that was going to be like the big news of the day. You had the opening ceremonies, and the NFL's like, wait a second, we're the king of the world here. We're not going to be forgotten about your little Olympic games you got going on. As the Miami Dolphins made some major news, signing Tua Tagovailoa to a 4-year, $212.4 million extension with $167.1 million guaranteed. This new deal will put him at $53.1 million per season. Golly, that's a lot of money for a Friday afternoon. Tua had himself a year last year. He throwing for 4,624 yards, which was first in the league, 29 TDs, which was tied for fifth in the league, and 14 interceptions. He also came in with a QBR of 60.8, which was 10th in the league. The writing was on the wall for the deal to get done. G. Mike, how do you feel about the deal getting done for the Dolphins and Tua?
I'll say finally, man. I mean, Tua's been waiting a long time for it. He's been trying to prove himself day in and day out since he's got into the league. You know, he's not that tall of a QB. He's like 5'7", 5'8",
Represents
maybe
for the short guys.
maybe on a good day 5'10", maybe. But my boy brought up a great point. Dude, through all these years, he's been proving himself so much because of the injury prone situation with with his knee, with the concussions, with how small he is. He gets hit. He's fragile. So like him trying to prove himself day in and day out is something that he really needed to do since he stepped into the NFL. And it's been like he's probably been the most anticipated QB to get his money's worth, in the sense of like they've taken so long to pay him that I think he for sure waited what 6 7 years to get a contract this big. Yeah, maybe the last time he got a little pay increase, but it wasn't as big as this contract. And honestly, bringing in Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, helping him out there, it really revamped. I would say his confidence, his play style on the field. Now he's got a little more tweaking. I say he got to bring in the playmaker aspect of it, but all in all, Tua deserves it. I'm glad he got his money.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. BC, are you a Tua guy or what?
I mean, I think that he definitely proved himself this year for sure. And I mean, the additions of Hill and Waddle definitely help. I wasn't sold on him at first, thought he might have been a bit too injury prone. I mean, there's still those risks out there just with concussions, his history with it. But the way he played this year, he played like easily top 10, borderline top 5 QB. Obviously, Tyreek Hill's very high on him. He's got him in his personal top 5 list of quarterbacks. So I feel like Miami, they made the right move because they got not only their guy in terms of the organization, but also too the guy that a lot of the teammates and the players think that as well is going to be their QB. They got him locked up, and I think that that's the important thing, that continuity. I think sometimes when what we see with Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets, Brady coming to the Bucks, I think a lot of times we see those moves and be like, oh yeah, some teams they just need to get a different quarterback or a better quarterback, and it solves all their problems. Not every, but goats don't necessarily just kind of fall off of trees in the NFL. Sometimes, you got to keep continuity with the team and just be patient with these quarterbacks. Let them progress, let them show what they've got. And I think that Tua, he's got the right pieces around him now. He took those leaps last year. I think that this for the Dolphins is the exact move that they needed to do.
Yeah, see, I really didn't understand all the hate on Tua. The only downfall I saw in Tua's game was possibly the concussion thing, and yet that's something you can't handle.
Yeah.
He also did the weird approach of doing the taekwondo stuff and getting slammed more, but it seemed to work. I guess I don't know. Note to self: try if you don't want to get hit in the head, get hit in the head more. I don't know. But having said that, though, I think Tua showed the poise to be a elite quarterback in this league. You can't. If this league has so many damn good quarterbacks out there, and to be number one in the league, It's obviously a good system, but Tua is a huge part of that system. And what I like about Tua is that he doesn't try to overdo it. Tua's never going to be that guy that's going to, throw that boneheaded play and you're like, what are you doing, man? Tua's always going to be the more controlled person out there. And that comes from his personality. If you've ever seen any of him with his family, he's very respectful, very, mellow mannered. So I think Tua fits in perfect. And what I like about Tua and the Dolphins is that they all seem like they love playing together. Like Tyreek Hill was extremely excited that he got paid. A lot of times it's like the diva quarterback, it seems like, but I feel like Tua is like the totally polar opposite of that. And for some reason, he's been hated on quite a bit by the media. And I don't really get that either. Like even whenever he tried to get some tattoos and put on some weight, some people were calling him chubby. And then he got them. And then he tried to lose some weight. They were complaining about that. So I really don't understand where all the hate for Tua comes from, especially from a guy, from all accounts, is a great person and doesn't do anything that causes any problems or any drama, locker room or outside of the league. So I never really understood all the Tua hate in there.
Yeah, and I mean, what's funny though too is like you said, like he doesn't make a lot of boneheaded plays, which I mean, we see so many guys. Look at Josh Allen last year; like he led the league in turnovers, but yet he's still so beloved and everything like that. Like I don't fully understand it. But what's interesting though too is that he's very cerebral, doesn't make a lot of boneheaded plays. You'd think the amount of concussions he'd have, like he probably would be susceptible to one or two. But I will say though too, going back to the Taekwondo, martial arts training in general, like you want to dull the pain, you want to get used to taking hits and stuff like that. You just get hit over and over again. Your body just adapts and is resilient. So it's some pretty smart training when you think about it. Like my dad, the countless times he would talk about the training when he was in Kung Fu, you wanted to get your fist strong to be able to withstand the punishment of hitting. They would just hit like wood. You'd break boards. You would hit, they would have metal pipes against their shins so they could take the punishment. So like, he's going about it, I think, in an interesting way. Like you want to be durable enough to last through an NFL season. Well, you gotta sometimes put your body through hell a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with the fact that like Tua doesn't do a lot of boneheaded plays and he actually sticks to the script, but it could be on the negative side as well because you see these top quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, the list goes on and on. When you put them in a certain category, like the reason why Patrick Mahomes is so great is because obviously he's accurate, he could throw the long ball, he's intelligent, but he also knows how to play make. He knows how to extend plays. He knows how to get his receivers the ball, not in the first 2 seconds of the play, maybe in the next 5 to 7 seconds. Like he's got to extend the play. You got to run around the field and get the ball to a certain guy at a certain point later in the play. And that's what I feel like Tua does not do, and that's what he needs to do to his game. Tweak a little more. What I was saying earlier, give him more finesse. Yeah, get a little finesse in your game because it's like, yes, you're a very accurate quarterback, and I truly believe he is the number one accurate quarterback in the league right now. But if you're telling me that you can only throw slants, post fades, long balls, and you can't extend plays when your offensive line is super tired at that third quarter, fourth quarter mark, and they can't really be protecting you as much, and you're down 10 points, you need to score a touchdown, go get a field, go get the ball back, and all this stuff, and then 2-minute drill down at the end of the game. Now you're going to be looking at Tua like, okay, just try to get the ball to Tyreek Hill, but then he's gonna be double covered. He's gonna have a safety over the top as well, and it's just like, dude, we need you to do more. You need to be more active with your legs. Yeah, we're scared for you to get a concussion, but this is why you did Taekwondo. Learn how to fall. Learn how to get on the ground. Not let your head whiplash against the ground. So I think he needs to put a little more aspect in the playmaking, and that would just like jump him from. How you said he's in the top 10, borderline top 5. If he becomes a playmaker, he's easily top 3, top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Like the Dolphins have the benefit because of the style they play of playing from the lead a lot. Tua doesn't really have to ever come back very much because he doesn't throw very many interceptions and create turnovers. But the Dolphins generally are, scoring at the same time you're scoring. So Tua doesn't really have to be that come from behind quarterback very much, which is a benefit to have, obviously. Yeah. We're definitely going to be breaking down the AFC East more, so we'll be definitely talking more about these Dolphins. I wanted to talk to you guys about the contract itself. Do you think that was the right amount of money, Brandon? Because if you look who we'll be getting into another contract here in a couple of minutes, but anyways, but what I'm saying is that do you think that one of the last few guys, Trevor Lawrence, and same state. So it kind of just, he didn't get as much as Lawrence did. And so that kind of, to me, I think Tua has proven himself to be a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. Do you think this number is good for the Dolphins, or do you think that it's too low and that he's going to just be demanding more money in a couple of years?
I think that what this is showing is to his personality. I think that for him, like, he is more focused on, I think, winning than necessarily making the most money. Like, yeah, he probably sees Lawrence's contract, and I'm sure he thinks, yeah, I'm worth more than that guy. But I think he also understands that, there are other guys on the team that need to get paid. And I think that he's shown that maturity to be like, yeah, I'll get my bag. I could get more because I might be worth more in the market, but I also want to maximize my ability to win. I want to maximize my ability to have success over the long term and not just for 1 or 2 periods and then command this massive contract and screw myself over. And I think that that's more indicative necessarily of his character and not necessarily what Miami thinks of him.
Yeah, he definitely took a page out of Jalen Brunson's book, and he tried to, because he's very selfless. Like he's not
Yeah.
about himself. He's about the team. He's about the people around him, people that
Yeah.
care for him and want to do a great job with him as well. So I definitely agree. He probably told them like, yo, don't worry, I'll take less money. And then with the rumors coming out with Jordan Love that we're gonna get into in a little bit, the rumors coming out of Jordan Love trying to get a new contract or whatever, I'm pretty sure the Dolphins were like, yo, we need to pay this man right now, because if Jordan Love gets this amount of money, then we're going to have to give Tua that amount of money.
Yeah. And that's something that's very important to do, though, too, is making sure that, you don't wait too long, because then that's the one problem the Bucks have right now with Wirfs' contract. They waited until after Penei Sewell just re-upped and got his new deal, and now they're having to now try to figure out how the market's going to reset that. So.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes out of Miami with the money was Tyreek Hill saying, "Oh, I want Tua to get paid, but make sure you save enough for me as well."
Yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah, so
the other quote that he had when he came to Miami, he's like, "F those picks."
yeah,
That was
exactly,
awesome.
exactly.
That was awesome.
Legend.